There's a few suttas that I think is quite interesting. I think I'll share two today. Okay, the first one is Sutta 209 on intonation. This is from the Anguttara Nikaya, Book 5, the Numerical Discourses. This sutta is on intonation. Intonation means like when you, let's say, speak, then like whether we say photography or photography. Yeah. So different up and down. So, Bhikkhus, there are these five dangers in reciting the Dhamma with a drawn-out song-like intonation. What five? One becomes infatuated with one's own intonation. So, the Buddha says that there are dangers when you recite the Dhamma with a drawn-out, long, song-like intonation. Yeah, hold that thought. Yeah. So the first danger is one becomes infatuated with one's own intonation. So when you do the recitation, then you put in some intonation, then you start to feel it quite nice. Two, others become infatuated with one's intonation. Yeah. Others hear your intonation, say, wow, so nice. When we recite the Dhamma, we should be focusing on the Dhamma. But when you have intonation, people get caught up with the wrong thing, which is your intonation instead of the Dhamma. Number three, householders complain. Just as we sing, so too do these ascetics who follow the son of the Sakyans. Yeah. So lay people may then criticize the monks. Huh? We sing, you all also sing. Number four, there is a disruption of concentration for one wanting to refine the intonation. Yeah. So if you want to develop concentration, but then you are busy trying to get the tone right. Yeah. Is it ro? Or is it namo tassa? Or is it namo tassa bhagavato? Which one is it? Those in the so the next generation follow one's example. Yeah. So here the next generation or the next generation refers to the future monks. So these are the five dangers in reciting the Dhamma with a drawn-out song-like intonation. Yeah. In the Vinaya, there's actually something related to this also. Yeah. So how? When we do chanting, is it intonation? So it's quite interesting. I've heard that uh, that some feel that the Chinese Mahana chanting is intonation. Yeah, because quite melodious, but you notice that when we recite the zan, yeah, like the verses of praise, then there's more intonation. When it's sutra, almost no intonation actually. Yeah, if you consider like a bit of then 波罗蜜多心经，观自在菩萨行深般若波罗蜜多时. So it's quite relatively flat. Whatever intonation that comes from this is more due to the fact that Chinese have intonation. The Chinese language has intonation by itself. But like as I mentioned earlier, the Lu Xiang Zan, for example, yeah, Lu Xiang Zan. So that's very drawn out, and then it's up and down. Oh, yeah. 往昔 So very clearly, yeah. Um, but the question here is, today when you all hear this, do you all associate it with singing, or do you associate it with religious chant? Yeah, more likely to be related to religious chant, right? And at least today, I don't know about back then. Maybe back then it was a pop tune, I don't know. But today, most people will not relate this to entertainment. Yeah. Yeah. If it's entertainment, all the kids will be rushing to the temple on weekends. Yeah. How many times kids have to be dragged all the way to the temple? Yeah. All the way in the bus, in the car. Oh, yeah, very sian. Yeah. Yeah. So clearly, it's not a form of entertainment as far as today is concerned. I don't know about the past. No. Um, so at least for point three, it wouldn't qualify today. No. But what I want to also highlight is, while some traditions would say Chinese chanting seems to have intonation, but if you look at other traditions, actually in all traditions, there's some form of intonation already, isn't it? Yeah, like when we recite Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. Yeah. Thai, they have a slight different intonation. Yeah, a bit sharper. Yeah, and the pause is more distinct. Yeah, like when they recite Itipiso Bhagava Araham Samma Sambuddha. It's very, and when it's very resonating. And again, today, would anyone listen to the Theravadan chanting, whether Thai or the Sri Lankan chanting, and think of it as singing? Probably not. But what is interesting is, when I gave teachings at the ESSEC in the French business school, right? And because, for them it's like 101 primer into Buddhism. So you're only given like 2 hours cover the whole of Buddhism. So it's really touch and go, give you a bit flavor of things. Over the years, some students from the various cohort, after the class, they actually join in SGC. Yeah, until their term end, then they go back. Some of them choose to do internship in Singapore, in part so that they can learn more Buddhism. And eventually, some of them actually got part-time job or something. Then some of them went back, still in touch occasionally. Yeah. The interesting thing is that uh, a, a good number of them, when they ask about the chanting, they'll say, Venerable, oh no, actually they don't call me Venerable, they call me Professor, because in French, the lecturer is Professor. Yeah. So sometimes they will say like teacher or lecturer or whatever lah. But some who know the Buddhist term, they will call Venerable. They will ask like, the singing that you did just now. So it's very interesting. If you don't have the cultural context or the religious context, when you hear the way we chant, most outside of Buddhism would think of it as a form of singing, right? Yeah. So this is a bit subjective also, or a bit subjective. And furthermore, in the Chinese Mahayana tradition, we call our way of chanting Fan Pei, that it is inspired by, I think, one of the emperor who heard was it the emperor or the monk? I think it's the emperor who heard the melodious singing by the devas, Brahma singing, yeah, or something like that. That they sing in praise of the Buddha, then he heard. So that's why it's Fan Pei. Yeah, this is what I heard. Don't know how true it is. Yeah. Yeah, because actually, by right, Brahma is at the form world already. So form world, they don't delight in the singing. Singing is only done in the lowest of the sensual desire realm, where there's music and all these things. So anyway, not an expert in this area of the Buddhist culture. Yeah, so this one can think about it. The other one which I thought I want to highlight is there are two suttas on impatience. I'll just share with you one today. So Sutta 215 on impatience. Bhikkhus, there are these 5 dangers in impatience. What 5? Number 1 is displeasing and disagreeable to many people. Now, if you are impatient, then this is the first danger. Number 2, one has an abundance of enmity. So here the footnote, look at it in 2 angles. One is you have a lot of enemy. The other one is that you have a lot of that kind of negative feeling about others. Yeah. I think the second one probably comes first. You have impatience, then you have enmity towards others, and as a result, you may act in ways that create, when you express your impatience and your that kind of enmity towards others, that means you against others kind of attitude, then you have people looking at you as enemy also. And then number 3, one has an abundance of faults. Yeah. This one is maybe a bit implicit. Yeah. So that the consequence of being impatient is that you have a lot of faults. So I think it has to do with that if you are impatient, then you may not be able to improve yourself or correct yourself, because you do a bit, then you change what you are doing. So you may not improve yourself sufficiently, so you have a lot of faults. But the faults can also refer to the first 2. Yeah. So number 4 and number 5 is other consequences. Number 4 is one dies confused. Yeah. Both are about death. Number 4 is that one dies confused. Number 5, with the breakup of the body after death, one is reborn in the plane of misery, in a bad destination in the lower world, in hell. These are the 5 dangers in patience. Yeah. Then after that, talk about benefits. Let me go through the benefits first before I go through the 5th point, because I think number 5, a lot of people will be interested. Because there are these 5 benefits in patience. What 5? Basically the opposite. One is pleasing and agreeable to many people. One does not have an abundance of enmity, again in 2 ways. Number 3, one does not have an abundance of faults. Number 4, one dies unconfused. Number 5, with the breakup of the body after death, one is reborn in a good destination in a heavenly world. These are the 5 benefits in patience. Yeah. So number 5 for both cases. The first one, when you have impatience, there's this danger of after dying, being reborn in a plane of misery, in a bad destination, in the lower world, in hell. Yeah. So there's a danger. I would look at this as there's a danger. Yeah. It doesn't mean that just because of one time you are impatient, then immediately go to hell. I think then they should be inside the Noble Eightfold Path, right? Yeah. But in a way it is. Yeah. You can look at it as under the right effort. Yeah. Right effort under unwholesome thoughts or unwholesome mental states. Yeah. So impatience would be one of them. Yeah. You notice that in most places we seldom really think about impatience, but impatience would fall under the category under aversion. Yeah. Aversion. Yeah. So I find this sutta very interesting because, for one, impatience is something that we probably more closely associate with. Yeah, hatred, wow, very strong. If you have hatred, it's a very strong thing, right? And sometimes when you look at the sutta, greed, hatred, delusion, then you may feel like greed. I'm not a greedy person. What? I'm just trying to make a living. I'm not a greedy person. What? I care for my family. What? I'm not a greedy person. What? I only have 30 shoes. What? The Imeldo something something. Last time that Filipino whoever she has a few thousand pair of shoes. I only have 100 or 30 or how many. Yeah. So uh, hatred. I don't really have hatred. I only sometimes get impatient about things. You know what I mean? So it's easy to think that the that we are quite free of all these unwholesome states. Yeah, but the devil is in the details. Yeah. So impatience is to me something that we can relate to on a more personal level. Yeah, because I think nobody can say that, oh, I'm never impatient. you know, impatience? Yeah, I learned it in secondary school, but I also don't know what it means. Yeah, I know what it means. I see people who are impatient. I never want. Uh, I think that is quite rare. Yeah. So impatience, and the thing is that in the in Buddhist teachings, we seldom hear of impatience having some dire consequences. In fact, it's seldom even mentioned, right? Five precepts: killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, abstaining from alcohol, intoxicants. Yeah, this seems quite dangerous, but never thought about impatience, huh? Mang a bit, yeah. Uh, then don't seems to be a problem, right? Yeah, but here it highlights. Yeah. But at the same time, I want to highlight that there's the danger. Yeah. But if you then think that, oh, one impatience, then you go to hell, then liao liao lo, then we can siu gang. Huh? I think we just prepare for hell. Mm, yeah. Um, I would compare this with in the in some teachings. Yeah, it says that 一句佛号, then basically then with one recitation of the Buddha's name, then you have planted the seeds of enlightenment. Yeah, or sometimes is positioned even more strongly. One Buddha's name, and you can attain Buddhahood. Yeah. So if you take it literally, then you just chant once, then okay, sit back, relax. Okay, wait lah. Oh, it's a matter of when. No, so similar to this, yeah, except that in the case of, like, let's say if you say you recite one Buddha's name, it just plants the seed that you have the potential to encounter and Buddha Dhamma. But after that, you must do many many things before you can attain Buddhahood. Yeah. So easy one Buddha name, then you think all the Bodhisattvas stupid? Huh? Or all the Bodhisattva weak, they need to practice so hard. Three Asankhya Kappa. We just recite one Buddha name. No lah. Similarly, if you compare impatience with the five heinous deeds, 杀父、杀母、杀罗汉、出佛身、血不合身, yeah, patricide, killing of one's father, mother, arahant, injuring of a Buddha, and then breaking up of the sangha in harmony. These are very heavy offenses, right? Of course, the consequences are heavier also. You get reborn, you are confirmed next life reborn in hell, and not just any other hell, in Avicii hell, where there is continuous, uninterrupted suffering from the start of your rebirth in the hell until the end. Which is to say that other hells have intermission. Yeah. So some Dhamma talk, some monks talk all the way, like so. 2 hours non-stop. Then after extension 3 hours. But then some they talk halfway, then they have, okay, let's have a toilet break. Yeah. Sư phụ, don't give toilet break. No need toilet break. See, Sư phụ keep drinking water, don't need toilet break. But similarly, so for hell, and that there are some intermission. But don't be mistaken thinking that hell easy. Not so bad. As long as it's not arbitrary hell, the intermission comes after a long time also. Yeah. So in comparison, arbitrary hell, no intermission. The other one, maybe every 100 years you have a break. For more information, you go and read the suttas. Yeah. So here, I would look at it and say, if you are impatient, there's a danger of you moving towards the lower realms, towards hell. Yeah. And it can be understood in so many ways. Because once you have impatience, it's hard for you to develop anything wholesome. Yeah. And it is easy for you to engage in unwholesome acts. If you are impatient to get rich, then you may resort to stealing. If you are impatient with people, then you may give in to anger. Yeah. Impatient enough, you may hurt someone, you may kill someone. Yeah. So impatience is a catalyst. Yeah. By itself, that cannot do much, but it can trigger unwholesome states. Yeah. And it can work against our development of wholesome states. Yeah. So don't think lightly of your Singaporeans. We like to do this, right? Yeah. The lift, take a bit longer. Yeah. When you are driving, then the person in front, all the lanes go, then the fella in front don't know sleeping or what. Then you, hey, Sifu, at least I don't know. So this is a sutta that came across. I thought worth for you all to think about. So this sutta on impermanence 215, 216. The one on intonation is 209. Okay, that's all I have for today. Put your palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了。
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always,
乖乖，
have a patient day ahead. We should be patient generally, but if there's one time we should be impatient, is to be impatient with our defilements. The trouble is we are very patient with our defilements. Never mind, tomorrow. How beautiful. Take care, stay safe.
Thank you, 师父。